guys, it's Mr. Scotty Pie here, and I am back for day 5 of the Cineworld movie challenge. If you don't know what this is by now, feel free to check out the previous videos, but a short little recap is the UK cinema chain Cineworld, not sponsored, I put up a Twitter challenge where every day they put a little question up about a film and you reply with something that corresponds to that. I took that from them and I decided to make a video series. There will be a video every day for the next 30 days where I talk about each one of them. Obviously, I said this is day 5 of that, so feel free to check out the other 4. If you want to drop a subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can see when the next video is coming up. As I said, every single day might be a few other little videos sprinkled in there on different topics. This channel, if you are new to it, we do talk about films, TV and nerd culture in general. If that's your thing, hit the subscribe. If you want to drop a comment, let me know what your film choices are for each of these categories. I do respond to all comments, so hit it up and we can have a conversation down there. I have a Twitter, which is Mr. Scotty Pie, just like the channel name. Feel free to add me on there and we can have a chat on there, see when I post and that kind of do-da. Now, without further ado, this is number 5 of the Cineworld challenge, and today it is a film you think is underrated. This, for me, there's a few films I was trying to think maybe they're underrated, but I thought, no, there's a bit of a cult following for them, so I kind of dismissed some because I don't think it's underrated if it's a cult following, I guess. But this is a film that I absolutely adore. It's one of my favourite films of all time, but when I talk to people about it, they've never really heard of it, so I think this is a very underrated film. The film I'm talking about is Ned Kelly. If you've not heard of it, I'm not shocked by this point because I very rarely meet people who have, which is weird because of a few things. One, it's a film that's been made a few times over the last 100 years. People started, like Mick Jagger starred in one of them as the lead Ned Kelly. But this film in general, its cast listing is crazy. Ned Kelly, the lead, is played by Heath Ledger. You've got Orlando Bloom, Geoffrey Rush, Naomi Watts, Joel Edgerton. That's a cast listing and a half. So how people have not heard of this film, or more people have not heard of this film, is beyond me. I'll tell you a bit about the film if you haven't seen it. It's a true story. It's a biopic. It's about an Australian outlaw legend called Ned Kelly. Ned Kelly was he was a farmer, and basically the cops just didn't really like him. And basically, one day when he wasn't there and he was selling some horses, the police came and harassed his mom and his sisters. Ned Kelly wasn't having any of that, so he decided to stand up to them. The police didn't like that fact he was standing up to them and rebelled and tried to arrest him. So basically it ended up being a war between the Kelly gang, which was Ned Kelly and his brother, his best mate and his brother's best mate. So there's 4 of them. And they decided to stop basically the police's unfair and brutality against its people. This film was set, or the true story was set around about the turn of the century, late 1800s, early 1900s. I can't remember exactly when it was. As some famous people are scenes when they rob a bank, but they don't actually rob the bank. They hold it hostage to gain news publicity. And they write an open letter to the police saying, look, this is what we want. We're not here to hurt anyone. We're not here to rob anyone. We just want our voices heard. So the police call in the head commissioner of the Australian police, played by Geoffrey Rush. This ends up with the pivotal final scene where the Kelly gang are cooped up in a pub, which they've, I wouldn't say taken hostages, because they're not really. Everyone's there who's happy to be there. Everyone supports what the Kelly gang are trying to do. The police come as pretty much as an army, and the Kelly gang refuse to step down. So they put on some homemade metal armour, which is very famous. I'll put a picture of here of what they look like in the film. And basically they have a shootout of the police. I won't spoil the ending at all, because that's not what I'm trying to do here, but it's a fantastic film. It's an action film. It's not a very fast-paced film at all, which is kind of what, if you look at my films and my favourites, you'll see I like fast-paced films sometimes, but my ones are hitting my top 10s and my top 5 favourite of all time. A more slower-paced films that spend time telling the story. This is a very, very well-acted film, and I think it's a film that meant a lot to Heath Ledger, being an Australian man and being this legendary Australian folk hero. I think it meant a lot to him, and I think it meant a lot to the people. As I know, in Australia, there's museums for Ned Kelly. You can go to the places where the final shootout happened. It's a very legendary outlaw story for the Australian people. But as a film, obviously, the acting's on point. The story's well told. The action's fantastic. It's an absolutely brilliant film. I don't understand why it's not on top film lists often, if not always. It's brilliant. I've struggled to pick holes in this film. As I say, it's brilliant. It's one that I stumbled across when I was a teenager, because I was coming off Lord of the Rings and Pirates of the Caribbean, and I was really enjoying the work of Orlando Bloom at the time. So, and I saw he was in this film. I just picked it up thinking, brilliant, another new Orlando Bloom film. I bought the DVD, not knowing anything about it, and instantly fell in love with the film. Heath Ledger, this was kind of my first real exposure to Heath Ledger. This was before Batman, and he'd only really done some rom-coms, which aren't really my thing. But I saw this and I was like, wow, this is a dark telling of this interesting story. I want you to know more, and I've forever sought out more information. They are making a new film about the Kelly gang, which will be out this year, starring, I believe it's George Kay, I'm not sure the actor, the guy from 1917, and Nicholas Hoult. But the problem I'm going to have watching that film, no matter how good it is I'm always going to compare it to this film. Because for me, this film is close to perfection. It's amazing. I'm not sure how close it is to the real story or anything like that. I don't know too much of the real story. Only a few documentaries I've seen, which seems quite close there. But if you know more, educate me in the comments. I'm very, very, very interested to learn. If you've not seen this film, please do. If you're a fan of film, you're going to adore this film, I'm sure of it. If you have seen this film, let me know in the comments. Do you love it as much as I do? Did you hate it? And if so, explain to me why you hated it. I'm not a judgmental way, but I'd love to know your opinions on that. I'm interested. And I said, this for me, I feel is one of the most underrated films of what I could think of from my films that I enjoy. I'm sure there's a lot more underrated films out there, and if this is not on your pick, let me know in the comments what your pick is. I'd love to know. As I said, I've got videos of this coming out every day for the Cineworld challenge. This is my day 5. Most underrated film, Ned Kelly. Drop a subscribe, hit the bell notification so you can see when his daily videos come out. If you enjoyed this video, drop it a like. If you want to have a conversation about what your most underrated film is, hit me up in the comments. If you want to chat to me on Twitter, it's at Mr. Scotty Pie, same as the channel name. Thank you very much. And thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you'd like to drop a like, a subscribe, share, hit the bell notification, that would be amazing. And you will see on this side of my head, you will see another video which YouTube has recommended just for you. And on this side of my head, you will see a logo to subscribe to the channel. If you want to hit that, I will love you forever. Goodbye.